Sorry?
Why are you recording? Why are you recording?
Is he actually recording? Oh, you did why? What is the point?
Right. Thank you to those of you who did come along to support our alumnus, Mr. Iverson, today. Great lecture on studying economics at Edinburgh University. Yes?
He was probably better than when me and Max went to Edinburgh.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, that is... Michael, did you hear that, Michael? That is high praise indeed. That must go on YouTube. Say that again, Nathan.
He was probably better than when the explanations we got when me and Max went to Edinburgh on Friday.
Well, better than the explanations given when the students in this class went to Edinburgh University for... Was that part of the open day?
Yeah.
Wow. So, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Tip top. Okay. So, let us move on, ladies and gentlemen, to answer Sidney's question there with regard to these diagrams. So, I know that we have drawn the long-run equilibrium position where we're making, Sidney, what type of profit? In the long run, under perfect competition. Always resorts back to normal profits. It's good to be normal, as I always say. Normal profit. Okay, and do you remember as well, Rebecca, do you remember what the profit maximising output rule is for all of these market structures diagrams?
Is it when MR equals AR?
Close, but not quite. Profits are always maximised at the... No, profits are always maximised at the point at which MC equals... I always prefer to put MC first. It's always the point at which MC equals MR. So, profits maximised. Profits are max-chowed, where MC... That's an in-joke. Where MC equals... MR, that's your profit maximising. Now, remember, it's the profit maximising output rule. So, when you look for the point at which MC equals MR, first thing that you're really looking for is, well, what's the output where MC equals MR? It's just the profit maximising output rule. Okay. Now, the reason that I have redrawn this, because we did this the other day, it's the second in the series. The reason why I've redrawn this is because we have not said everything that there is to say about this particular diagram, particularly when it comes to efficiencies. And that whole point of efficiency is very, very important on market structures diagrams. Now, from your year 1 micro studies, Alex, what type of efficiencies are you aware of? Just shout them out.
Allocative.
Thank you. Allocative efficiency. Okie dokie. And another one, Alex?
Economic.
Okay. I accept that as one, but we're not going to talk about that yet on these diagrams. So another one.
Productive.
Productive. Now these two are your reference points when you're doing perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, duopoly. You always need to explain and identify to whoever's marking your script, these are the efficiency problems. Now your colleagues at the moment, year 2 A-level, they're in the sports hall at the moment doing the macro paper at the moment. And I've just been along to have a little peer through the window and I can see that they're all busy writing frantically, so hopefully that's a good sign. But allocative and productive efficiency. So what do we mean by these things, Dylan? What does allocative mean, first of all?
The resources are allocated,
Okay, not quite, Nathan.
Like consumer satisfaction is maximised through the allocated process.
Or another way of saying that would be to say that everything that the consumer demands is being supplied or produced. Yes. Now that's the wordy version of it, but what's the non-wordy version of it? I told you last year, you could either put this word, if the question was, define allocative efficiency, we could do the wordy version, or we could say something else. Allocative efficiency is the point at which P, which is price, equals what? Do you remember what we said last year, Serena?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
No, okay. Roshan?
MC.
MC, which stands for?
Marginal cost.
Marginal cost. So, in other words, Roshan, the revenue from the last unit, because remembering price is revenue, is just equal to the additional cost of producing that. So, that is your allocatively efficient point. So, remember we talked the other day about exploiting all the revenue differentials. Do you remember that? When we did that the other day, we didn't record this, ladies and gentlemen, because I ran out of memory. However, last night I got on my mobile portable information device and I ordered a 64 gig new memory card. So this bad boy in here is 32 gig, but I'm about to replace it with a 64 so we can get the full lesson content on. Yes. But the other day, we said, if we were at Q1, it's worth producing the next unit. Daniel Coulson, why is it worth producing the next unit? Why is it worth producing Q2 as well, Daniel?
Because marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost.
Exactly, because your marginal revenue is greater than your cost, so that there's a revenue cost differential there on the plus side. So it's worth going right up to this point where P equals MC, and that is our point of, in terms of efficiency, Serena, we've just said it. Serena's now looking at the board, everybody. We've just said it. That is the point of allocative efficiency, correct. So this point here on your diagram, okay, that is, we can say, first of all, P equals MC, so that is AE, right? That is allocatively efficient at that point. Now, having established that, Nicole, what do you understand, Nicole, by productive efficiency?
Is it when the thing produces goods and services at the lowest cost possible using the fewest resources possible?
Okay, lowest possible cost. So where would we be looking therefore, Nicole, on our diagram? Where are we looking?
The minimum point of the ATC.
Minimum point of the ATC curve, correct. Are we, when we're at P star Q star here, Nicole, are we at minimum ATC?
Yeah.
Yes! There we are there, that's at the minimum point, because remember, your short run cost curves, what's the rule? ATC, AVC, MC. MC's cutting through the minimum each time. So we know that this is the minimum point. So this point, where P equals min ATC, or that tripped a few of you up, didn't it, on the year 1 macro paper, sorry, year 1 micro paper, multiple choice question, where is the point of minimum efficient scale, which would be that point, minimum ATC. I'm very surprised that was on, because when I was looking in great detail at the A-level specification over the half-term holiday, minimum efficient scale, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't actually appear until the year 2 spec. Am I right on that, Max, or have you not gone into in that detail?
I don't know it inside out like you do.
You do? Oh, thank you, thank you. Don't know it inside out like I do. Yeah, you're right, actually, Max. Okay, so that is also P equals min ATC, so it's productively efficient. Now, what's it called? And somebody's maybe mentioned this already. What do you call it whenever you have allocated efficiency plus productive efficiency? And I want the name of an economist, okay, as the surname of an economist to describe this point of productive efficiency. Now, Radhika, if you get this correct, I'll take you off. Oh no, I've already done it.
It's Pareto.
Pareto efficient. After the economist
Vilfredo.
Pareto. Okay. So 1 plus 2 equals, Radhika, 3.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm only joking, Radhika.
It's moving up anyway.
Yeah, it's
That's really nice.
only joking. Don't worry, it's only going to go viral. 1 plus 2, you're absolutely right, Pareto. Pareto efficient. And of course, you would expect this to be Pareto efficient. Why would you expect that to be Pareto efficient, Philip? Given where perfect competition lies. There's PC, there's monopoly. Why would you expect perfect competition to be Pareto efficient? Because it's, I mean, is there anything sort of out here?
No.
So therefore, perfect competition is as efficient
It's possible.
as it gets. Correct. So we would expect that to be the case. Now, on that basis, Sydney, looking at monopoly, would you expect monopoly to be Pareto efficient, Sydney? Why not?
Because it's not.
Because perfect competition and monopoly are, how would you describe them? There are opposite ends, or they are poles apart, or polar opposites. Okay, so you would expect that, but you certainly wouldn't expect this one to be, as you know, might be the case whenever we draw that diagram. Okay. So long run, perfect competition is the most efficient that we can get. Pareto. And indeed, it's not even possible to make a Pareto improvement from that point onwards. And what do you understand by the term Pareto improvement? Rebecca. Pareto improvement. A Vilfredo Pareto improvement. Did we do this last year?
Is it something to do with an improvement to one economic agent's satisfaction will make another economic agent's satisfaction worse off?
Close, yes, very close. A Pareto improvement means this happens when you're at the Pareto optimum position. It's not possible to make a Pareto improvement because when you're Pareto efficient, it's impossible to make one person better off without making someone else worse off. So when you're at this point of Pareto efficiency, you can't make any Pareto improvements because that's as good as it gets. So Alex, look at this, for example, okay? Here's Alex welfare, happiness, whatever, you know, and here's his learned colleague there, Dylan's welfare. And they're shown by that line, okay? And Alex he's feeling, you know, he's not having such a good day. So Alex is down here. And Dylan's not so good either. He's up here. Now, is it possible to make Alex better off whilst maintaining Dylan's welfare? Given that they're both on this sort of if you think of this as like a PPF, well obviously when you lie on the PPF you're at the optimum in terms of efficiency. So let's say we want to improve Alex's lot, okay? We want to say that again?
You really care about Dylan's.
Excuse me.
We improving Alex's but not Dylan's, so now I feel bad for Dylan. Dylan's just all sad.
Well, so
It's on the diagram.
let's just assume that we're at point A, okay? So this is Dylan's and this is Alex. I want to make Alex better off by moving towards B. Now if you make Alex better off, what happens to poor Dylan? What happens to Dylan's welfare when you move to B? Serena? It gets worse. So Dylan is there, he's going from D1 to D2, so he's moving towards 0, so he's getting more and more unhappy. Look at it the other way. Alex, loving life, you know, way up here, A2, Alex, but then we say, yeah, but what about poor Dylan? Let's make Dylan better off. So you try and move back this way towards A, so you make Dylan better off, but at the same time you make...
Alex worse off.
Correct. So these points on the line are Pareto efficient because you can't make one better off without making the other party worse off. Now, Max Chow. What if you were at point C, Max?
You have potential to make both parties better off by moving closer to the P.
Okay, so let's say this is Dylan here, right? D3, and then we've got Alex there, A3, and we only want to make Alex better off. Okay, we're going to leave Dylan for the time being, and we're going to make Alex better off. Is it possible to do that from point C, Marks?
Yes.
So, by moving up to D, you make Alex better off and you maintain Dylan's welfare. So, in that case, when you're inside the frontier, it is possible to make a Pareto improvement. But when you're on the line, it's not. When you're on the production possibility frontier, it's not. So you can use this type of language when you're talking about production possibility frontiers or production possibility curves. You can use that sort of language.
You keep walking out the frame.
Back again. Okay. Now, what then say you with regard to the short run equilibrium where the firm is making abnormal profits? So that's the second diagram that we did last week. So turn that one up, please. Short run equilibrium diagram.
It's different because you've got to have a shift in basically.
So I'll very quickly. One of the most important things, ladies and gentlemen, for you A-level economists is practice, practice, practice drawing your diagrams. Just so that you can just rattle them off, just like that. Just like that. Tommy Cooper style. You probably won't know me on this. DM, price and quantity. Now Philip, in what way does this one differ from the long run? When we've got an increase in demand?
The MR.
The what, sorry?
The MR for the firm shift.
Well, it's P equals AR equals MR, isn't it? As we established the other day.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that. So we've got P star. We go across to the firm at P star. The firm has to accept that because they are what, Radhika? A price
taker.
Price taker, correct? So then that puts them onto this AR equals MR curve. And you'll remember and recall we did that table last week to show why P equals AR equals MR, so we'll not go over that again. So then we're drawing our average total cost curve. Then we're putting the marginal cost through the minimum. So we're really starting this from this point. And then we're saying,
There's a rise in the market price.
caused by,
An increase
that's the
in-
effect, caused
increase in
by,
market demand.
increase in market demand, shifts DM1 to DM2. So we're at P2. The firm has to accept that higher price because it is a price taker. So we take that across P2 and we draw the new revenue curve, marginal revenue curve, average revenue curve, demand curve. And then the next thing that we're thinking is, okay, what's the level of output? And so to get the level of output, I always say to myself, in my head, I'm always thinking, what, Dylan? To get the level of output. I'm always thinking, Dylan, the profit
Or
maximising output rule where MC equals MR, which is there. There's my new MR, there's the MC, so there's the output. So I can take that down and get my output. So that's Q2 level of output. Then I take the cost of that level of output from the cost curve. It's not at the minimum, clearly. We're to the right of it. Now we're taking that across, and as you know, that's our area of, what did we call that, Nathan?
I don't know. I wasn't.
Say that again?
I wasn't here, so
Oh right, sorry. Did you not watch the video?
not all of it yet.
Not all of it. I did see you liked you were referenced during the lesson. Yes. Sydney, yes. Economics leader.
Abnormal profit.
Abnormal profit. Correct. So abnormal profit. Okay. Now the reason that I've drawn that again is because number one, it's good to practice. I love drawing these diagrams. Absolutely love it. But number two, because we now want to think about the efficiencies of this one. The efficiencies. Because of course, this only happens in the short run. As we established the other day, abnormal profits in perfect competition only earned in the short run. So Philip, how efficient is this?
Sorry.
How efficient is this? So is it allocatively efficient and is it productively efficient?
No.
Say that again, please.
No.
Okay, you say no. Now you say no to both. Be careful.
To allocate.
You say no to allocative.
Productive.
Well, let's just have a closer look at it then, Philip.
Yeah.
At Q2, there's the cost. But we know that to be productively efficient, you have to be where? Well, we've only just done it 2 minutes ago. To be productively efficient, you have to be at minimum.
The middle of the ATC.
The minimum of the ATC curve. So you've got to be there. Well, are we there?
No, slightly to the right.
We're slightly to the right. So is it productively efficient?
No.
No, correct. So we can clearly say here that price does not equal minimum ATC.